Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of Little Women. Little Women is the latest adaptation of the iconic novel, this time helmed by writer and director Greta Gerwig, which follows the story of four sisters as they navigate their way through childhood into womanhood. Along the way, they hit bumps, they find romance, and they search within themselves for deeper purpose. The Little Women has been adapted a million times at this point. It feels like constantly we are being presented with a new version of Little Women. This cast was stacked, a stellar cast full of great actors that instantly made me excited and interested in seeing this take. Plus, Greta Gerwig as the writer director definitely piqued my interest as well, and I was actually really looking forward to seeing a story I've seen over and over again. And I have to say, I think this is probably my favorite adaptation of the famous novel. Yeah. So, let's go ahead and talk about the positives first. Well, I'm going to start off with Greta Gerwig and really her understanding of the characters. It was a really empathetic interpretation of the story. I thought the characters were all so well written and so well realized from a storytelling and movie making perspective. Gerwig really captured what the essence of the story is all about to me, and she brought it to the screen in a pitch perfect way when it comes to tones and themes, getting the characters right. All of that was just beautiful. On top of that, obviously, what you'd hope from any period piece, the costumes. They are stunning. They're just beautiful. The set designs are gorgeous, and the cinematography is wonderful. All across the board from a filmmaking aspect, it works really well with some shaky editing, but otherwise strong stuff. And I think this film helped to cement Gerwig's individual voice because we're dealing with a story that so many of us have seen several times at this point, but she is able to inject her voice and her filmmaking prowess into this story, modernize it without making it feel modern, reinvigorating it without overturning it. And I think that was a really tough skill that she handled wonderfully. And of course, she assembled a fantastic cast who all do their work to bring these characters to life. Saoirse Ronan is stellar as Jo, from the spitfire to the vulnerability to the dedication and work. She's just beautiful in the character. Emma Watson was also very lovely. Florence Pugh comes through in this film. She really kills it, I think, and in many ways steals the show here. And then we have Laura Dern, who's always amazing, and she shines through in this film yet again. Plus, Timothée Chalamet is perfect in the role. I think he was a great Laurie. And what works really well with a Laurie like Timothée Chalamet is that this cast works so well together. You don't need the strapping, handsome type of Laurie because Chalamet's handsome charm works wonderfully in this mix, in this blend, and they all go so well together. Meryl Streep is also very fun, though we've seen Streep do a character like this quite a few times at this point, and she doesn't have that big of a role. But whenever she's on screen, she's a lot of fun and gets the laughs. And by the end of the film, you're just left feeling empowered and emboldened, as well as moved. It is a moving film that earns all of its emotions. It doesn't shove them in your face, rather, they just kind of swell and creep up on you in the moment, and that's all just beautiful. Plus, I definitely did appreciate those little updates, as I said, from Gerwig in the script. I did appreciate some of the new slight changes to the story that worked really well. So then, what did not work so well when it comes to Little Women? Well, the back and forth nature is kind of a double-edged sword because in many ways I do think it works pretty well, but in other ways I think it really undercuts our ability to live in the romance or live in these moments. And honestly, that's often my case when we have like flashback, flash forward type of storytelling. Plus, in this film, I enjoyed that she changed the color palettes when we went back and forth so that there was at least a visual cue when you're looking at it. But especially to begin, it's actually quite jarring and a little bit like of a whirlwind of confusion for a second as we're like swapping back and forth. I also didn't love the score, if I'm being honest. I think it gets better as the film goes on, but through a good part of the film, I was a little bit underwhelmed by the score. It didn't fully embrace what was happening on the screen for me personally. And ultimately, it is quite a slow film overall. It is a slow period dramedy romance, if you will, and one that so many of us are very familiar with at this point. Honestly, it's a pretty easy tell whether you should go out and see this film. And you know, it moves at a nice leisurely pace, but we're trying to fit a lot of material into one film. So while I think a lot of aspects definitely start to feel like they're dragging through the center, we still get undercut on a lot of the side plots and side stories. So overall, I really did enjoy Little Women. I do think it was a fresh, needed take on the classic story. And as I said in my opening, this is my favorite screen adaptation of Little Women to date. I did think it was really, really well executed. So for my personal opinion, I would give this a full price ticket. I think it was really strong. But as I said, the recommendation on this one is actually quite simple. Do you like period pieces? Do you like period dramas? If you said yes, this is definitely a full price ticket. If you scrunched your face in like, ugh, I think you can honestly skip this one. It won't do anything to change your mind if you just are not about this life. And then, have you seen Little Women? Did you enjoy the overall story? If you did, this is a full price ticket. If you didn't connect with the story at all, well, maybe give this a rental to see if it changes your mind. So that is my review of Little Women. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below, and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on my latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see Little Women? And what is your personal favorite adaptation of this story? Let me know either in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your continued support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!